you know what you're watching exactly?
I mean, this reminds me of the movie Super Size Me or Fast Food Nation, where they actually show this kind of. I don't know if you ever watched that documentary movies. It's very, very similar to this.
Yeah, it is.
How they mass produce like burgers and how they treat the animals, and they mostly in like the Midwest, like in Colorado or Nebraska and Kansas. So it was, yeah, after I watched that documentary movies, I don't actually eat beef or pork anymore. So
That's wonderful. That's so good.
Yeah.
You know, it says something about the human heart. This doesn't feel good, right? When you watch it, it doesn't make you feel hungry. What they're doing right here is forcibly inseminating, because dairy, unfortunately, the way to get dairy, it's a very long, complicated process. You have to use what's called electroejaculation, which is a bull is electrocuted anally in order to get him to ejaculate. And then they put the semen in the female with that long tube that you saw, and the female is impregnated. So the female cow's gestation period is about 9 months. When they have the baby is removed immediately, pretty much within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes as soon as they come out of her, because can't keep the baby around, he's going to drink the milk, right? So
what happened to the mother?
The mother will produce milk for another few months until she dries out, at which point she is re-impregnated. So she goes through the same process 4 or 5 times until she can no longer produce milk. They're called the downed cows. And then what happens when they're down is they get slaughtered for beef.
Kind of like a puppy mill, I guess. A very similar concept to puppy mill.
Yeah, and in fact, dairy, causes so much more damage, because not only is the mother confined to basically a life of slavery, and she is killed in the end after all of it, but her babies, if it's a boy, he goes straight to veal. If it's a female, she goes into the same cycle of slavery that her mother did. So
I'm kind of curious though, why it seems that whoever is willing to be shot or taken pictures of, movies of, they felt like this is normal. It doesn't gotta cause any reaction to people. Like, why are they willing to even be videos and videotape and make a movie out of this?
So what happens is a lot of these videos that you will see are undercover videos, where
So
they
will
will
just go there and pretend, and
they will actually get a job, and unfortunately they have to often participate in order to get that footage. And this is all standard industry practice. I mean, see, that cow is a downed cow. She can no longer walk. We are showing this to people because oftentimes we don't think about where our food comes from. We don't eat it. We don't eat animals. We don't drink dairy or eggs because this is not okay. It's 99% of the food that people eat comes from places like this. And I've been to Chino Hills, California. I don't know if you have, but it is dairy farm after dairy farm after dairy farm, and that is just one town. Now multiply that by the world.
You said about 99% of the products that are generated in the U.S. came from farmer like this. But there is that 1% of people who are actually doing the right thing in terms of being more humane, in terms of treating the animals.
Well, let me ask you this. What does humane mean to you?
Not that.
Right. Definitely not that.
I mean, I don't know what the alternative ways of mass producing milk and dairy products and meat without necessarily having to torture the animals like this, I guess. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, you always see like claims of products like sold in the supermarket about, I guess you only see claims the fact that they don't actually inject antibiotics or any kind of any kind of hormones or things like that to, for example, chickens, right, or beef or cow for milk production.
Right.
But I guess I don't know if any farmers could claim that they produce the product without exercising an animal cruelty act. So I'm kind of curious about that. It'll be good to identify those farmers and
It would be. They are very rare, and there are farmers who will claim, no, our cows are happy cows, happy milk.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is, like a cow's lifespan is 25 to 30 years in the industry. If you're continuously, if the cow is continuously producing milk, she will only live about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it's because it's very. I mean, imagine you put a human in the same place, and you're breastfeeding your entire life, and that has a toll on your body. Now, when it comes to humane, is there a humane way to kill a living being who doesn't want to die? Like, the definition of humane is benevolent, compassionate. Is there a compassionate way to kill an animal who wants to live just as much as we do?
But I guess it all comes down to survival of the fittest, right? So we can claim that the vegetarians and the vegans of the world, they can claim they only eat vegetables, but vegetables is just as much creature as animal is. They don't talk, they don't make a squeaky noise, but they're also plants, and some of them actually do have feelings. Like, so how would you then differentiate killing animals like this versus, I know animals in the higher hierarchy obviously, and versus mushrooms or any other plants that people, seaweed in the sea that people eat, but those are also creatures. Like, we don't know that they have feelings or not because we never exploit that.
You have a good point. You bring up a good point. Do you think, though, that plants would have been given the evolutionary disadvantage of not being able to avoid pain or run away from pain if they did truly have feelings? What we do know is that animals express emotion and feeling in very similar ways that we do. And then when it comes to making that choice, in your heart, would you rather slice the throat of a pig or slice a carrot?
Yeah, I definitely see that. I can definitely see, because yes, pigs move and chicken move, they make noise, and some of them are domesticated. I just feel that, and again, I don't eat pork and beef either. This is just, I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I think just because things that you slice, like carrot, don't move and don't make a noise, it doesn't mean that they're not a living creature either. They are.
No, of course. Trees are living, plants are living creatures, but they're not sentient. They don't have nervous systems.
But some plants do.
They have nervous systems?
Some plants actually do develop a survival. I don't know if you've ever seen those plants like in Asia or in Australia, where you actually, like specific plants where they actually develop a sense of survival and protection themselves. When you walk through them, they actually either snap you, or if you kind of like come close to them, they actually have some kind of physical reaction. It's plants.
Well, so
but it's all about survival. It's all about, like, yes, of course, carrot doesn't develop this survival instinct to it, but
no, I hear you. In Costa Rica,
it's still. We can't neglect that, right? So then the question becomes, what do we eat then, fundamentally?
Well,
right.
When it comes down to making the choice, if we really care that much about plants and plants having feelings, in fact, eating animals is causing more damage to the plants, because think about how much grain, how much forage they have to eat. One cow has to eat 25 to 27 pounds of grain a day, sometimes more if they're lactating, and that's one cow. Now, that's a lot of plants, multiplied by the billions of animals. Like 65 billion animals get slaughtered every year for food.
Right.
In the Amazon rainforest, we are decimating the rainforest for agricultural purposes, so that's a concern.
And we also, we also like don't think about all the products that we produce from plants, from trees, like papers
Absolutely.
and furnitures and all this stuff that we throw away. And obviously the recycling concept is great. And I don't know. I think it's easier to watch something like this because I can see the cruelty behind it, and it disgusts me really.
Yeah.
But we don't usually associate that with people cutting the trees down and building furniture or building papers out of that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
Well-
kind of like you chose your what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you chose your
battles.
Your battles.
Yeah. And you know what? You're
know,
right. There are
so-
so many issues in the world.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about, say, being vegan is you can care about more than one issue at a time.
Yeah.
But when you go vegan, it is the choice that you make every day, 3 times a day, or however many times you eat. That is an immediate impact on that industry.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that we can do on a daily basis
Yeah.
that has an enormous impact. I mean, if you look at California, for example, we just passed the fur ban. So in 2020, the sale and manufacture of fur will be illegal. That just passed about a month ago.
Oh, okay. The whole state of California.
Yeah, the whole state of California. And SB 124, sorry, Los Angeles, not the whole state of California.
Yeah.
SB 1249, which is the California Cruelty-Free Cosmetics Act, is the whole state of California. And that will prevent any companies from selling products in California that have been tested on animals.
Okay.
So that's all cosmetics. Every single, like L'Oreal, Maybelline, they're gonna have to figure out what to do. And vegans are a minority, but this is how much impact we have because compassion is contagious.
Right.
And by having these demonstrations,
Yeah.
we are able to, one conversation at a time,
Yeah.
we're able to communicate to people to make the compassionate
Yeah.
choice.
I mean, it certainly is very educational and very touching and informative for people to actually see this and realizing, like you said, what they put in their mouth on a daily basis. But it is a baby step. I wouldn't say that people who actually eat meat the whole time. I think it may be baby step for them to like give up something.
Sure.
And the thing is that we focus quite a bit. Also, here's the thing: we focus quite a bit on cows, pigs, chickens, but we never actually see ocean animals.
Oh yeah, there's another.
Shrimps or
So
fish.
all these
Is it in
screens, yeah, it's someone else is holding that
Okay,
video.
on the other
Yeah,
side.
we just have to like rotate.
Got it, yeah.
But this is you're looking at one
That is-
particular industry here. But yeah, I mean, feel free to walk around. What I want to ask you though is like, so this has obviously impacted you.
Well,
And-
I've seen this
yeah.
before. Yeah, certainly. I mean, people always make fun of me like when I go out and have dinner. Like I told them I don't usually like to eat pork, beef.
What
It's-
about chicken?
It's still hard for me to stay away from chicken. I try to limit it, but if I have a choice between chicken and salmon or fish, I'll usually choose the fish. But I don't usually eat, if I have a choice.
Do you know why that is?
But
So I think we tend to empathize with the animals who are most similar to us, and sometimes it's harder to empathize with animals like chickens and fish because they're so different. But do you feel that they feel the same way cows do, or because chickens are very intelligent
chicken
too?
does too. I mean, my brother actually owned chicken farms back home, so he loves chicken. So he has chicken all over the place.
He has chicken farm
Yeah.
or a sanctuary.
Well, he produces the eggs and he doesn't kill the chicken and he just like let it run himself, like grass fed them
Pasture raised, okay.
and then produce the eggs and that's it. But he doesn't, I don't know, he just likes chicken. He loves chicken and he doesn't eat chicken either. So he
Well, see,
but-
he's very close to. He has a
Right.
close relationship with
yeah,
them.
but I was exposed to that quite a bit. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm just not associating myself as closely as, let's say, pigs or cows.
Yeah, see, there's some fish. But like you said, baby steps. You've already given up pork. You've already given up beef.
But here's the thing. Something that I don't associate myself either. Have you seen this movie that was made by It's a documentary movie as well. You can see it from Netflix. It was shot in Japan, in one of the provinces in
The
Japan.
Cove.
The Cove. Did you see that movie? Now
did.
now I don't associate myself with dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, dolphin is kind of intelligent, kind of like
Very intelligent.
commercialize it and advertise it in the movies and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'd never had any exposure with dolphin or any experience with dolphin.
But you
when I
empathize
see
with
that,
them.
like when I
Yeah.
see it, I think it's just a human act. Like if you see people start stabbing fish and stuff, like it's all about the act. I think it doesn't matter whether you correlate to the animals or not. It's all about the act, because that movie, The Cove, was like that movie. Just like I
tore you
hated Japan
apart.
for a moment.
Oh, I mean, we
For a
all
period.
identify.
Yeah.
It's very, very normal to feel angry when we see people hurting living beings.
Yeah.
And when it comes to dolphins, I mean, that's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
For
but it's
them, it's
very
fine, yeah,
right.
yeah.
But it's difficult to argue culture
Yeah.
because just the same, Yulin,
Yeah.
they're killing dogs and cats for meat. So when we try to argue that that's wrong
Yeah.
for them, they're gonna say, well, what do you mean? You guys eat cows and pigs.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
So it's about aligning our values with, yeah, there you go. Now you have the fish. It's about aligning our values with our actions. Or rather, it's about aligning our actions with our values.
That's how they kill the fish.
Yeah, right?
You're standing in front of sushi. Ramen,
Yeah.
please.
And you know, they have very complex nervous systems.
Wow.
In fact, there was a great article in the New York Times about how intelligent fish are. And you could argue, too, that because animals might not have the ability to have a concept of what is happening to them, that they might actually feel more afraid, more terror. I'm going to move over here because I can't hear you. When we hold these, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we go to a slaughterhouse in downtown LA. It's a pig slaughterhouse. And we see the pigs come in on the trucks. And they're traveling from the Midwest, Iowa, Idaho, South Dakota, Arizona, Utah, without food or water for days. And so we give them water. The police, the Vernon police, helps us stop the trucks, and we stop them for 2 minutes, and then the pigs go in, and they're killed the next morning. To us, that's, it's showing them it's showing them kindness, maybe for the first and last time in their lives, because we literally bring them into existence to kill them, and they don't know, they're born innocent, and you have to wonder that, they're brought up they're raised in horrible conditions, and they're killed at 6 months, and they don't know why. They don't know what they did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with fish. I mean, they have some sort of awareness. It is illegal in Switzerland, or is it Switzerland or Sweden? I think it's Switzerland. It is now illegal to boil lobsters alive.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
They have to kill them first before you boil them? How do you
Yes.
do it?
Yeah, they have to render them unconscious because they determined that lobsters do feel pain. I mean, and these are free-range chicken farms. That's when you said earlier, these marketing terms that these companies use, they're exactly that, they're marketing. They say free range, but all that really means is that the chickens are not in cages, they're just there's just thousands and thousands of them in an open warehouse with no access to light, maybe one little door that allows them to go outside. But so they're bred to grow really, really quickly in a very short time, which is why they can't stand up. They're maybe like weeks old, because most chickens are killed after, I think, 45 days is the average after being born. And I mean, they're days old, but they grow so fast that they can't stand up. So I'm going to leave you with this. So this is just additional resources if you're interested. Since you're a documentary watcher, that's awesome. There's a really, earthlings.com, a lot of this footage is from Earthlings. So you can definitely watch more of it. There's another...
Cowspiracy, that's a documentary?
Yeah, these are also, this one's mostly ethics related.
Okay.
Cowspiracy is about the environment. Forks Over Knives has a lot to do, or What the Health has a lot to do with its health.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not healthy. And do you think that you can live healthily on a plant-based diet? Do you think there's anything that you cannot get in plants?
I don't know, actually. I mean, I think my understanding is that like protein that's produced by plant, like peas protein, hemp protein, even soy protein, those may not actually good for some people in terms of the digestion, and also it could upset their stomach, but it's not necessarily the best source or form of protein to build like muscles if you want to do that, versus let's say whey protein, isolate, and other type of protein that's more like animal derived. So I think side by side studies have been done on that. So if people could identify, or somebody agricultural specialist could identify a similar protein that have similar amino acid component, you know, that has similar properties and provide similar nutrition benefit as animal products, then yeah, I don't see why would.
Well, look up Kendrick Ferris when you get home.
Yeah.
He is the only American to have made it to the weightlifting Olympics, and he's fully vegan, and he can lift a good amount of it. Patrick Baboumian, he's a world strongman. He is massive. Like these people live on only plants. There is actually, we overestimate how much protein we do need. It varies by a very little amount, but men and women on average maybe between 40, 45 grams of protein per day. And you can easily get that on literally just legumes and grains. So it is possible to live healthily on a plant-based diet. Millions of people are doing it around the world. You know, what happens when we consume animal products is it causes inflammation. You know, when you watch the commercials, the Pepto-Bismol commercials, what are they eating? They're not eating salads. You know, and we were like putting out, there's all these pharmaceutical products. You know, you can even reverse diabetes on a plant-based diet. We have friends who've done it.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that the medicine is in the food, you know, and it's that easy, but we refuse to make it easy for ourselves. We want to put the Band-Aid on, you know?
No, this is really great what you guys are doing. So you guys are...
Well, thank you for listening.
So I laud you. I applaud you for standing up for this. And I think for people who don't really see...
that one too, I forgot.
Yeah, for people who don't really see Fast Food Nation and Super Size Me, they need to see that, because I mean, not only should they stop eating mass-produced meat like burgers, but they should just stop eating fast food in general anymore. So,
and hopefully all animals, you know?
Yeah. Anyway,
well, thank you so much. What's your name?
I'm John.
John, thank you so much for listening. Anna.
Anna, nice meeting you, Anna.
Yeah,
thank you
good
so
to
much
meet you.
For standing up here.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate
wonderful.
it.
Honestly, it's really nice to have someone with an open mind to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night.